This is for Shark Online. I'm responding to the movie Rodeo Horse Gored, Fatally Gored by Bull at High School Rodeo. And I'm responding because you won't post some of my comments about it for some unknown reason. But since you won't, I'm going to make my point on this video. And you talk about the bond between cowboys and horses, and it is a very strong bond. I don't know if you've ever been out to, the way I read it, you're from like Illinois or someplace, and I'm from Nebraska, and this is the heart of cattle country, and I've been on horses and around cows for as long as I can remember, so I kind of know what I'm talking about here, just kind of. And anyway, this little video kind of really torqued me off because of how uninformed you are about rodeo to start with. And yeah, you go to where the guy's in there to start with. The horse is in there to herd the animal. Now, I don't know if you've ever been around bulls before. I'm guessing not, but they respond to movement and not colors like everyone thinks they do. And so you can't herd them with a guy because they're bigger than you and they know they are, and they'll beat the living hell out of you. And so they have horses in there to herd them, and if you went to any major rodeos, you'd kind of notice that's what they do. It's the same thing for like calf roping. They have those rodeo queens out there to herd them. And actually, the funny part is it's pretty safe because the rodeo in my hometown, we have rodeo queens herd the bulls in. So obviously, this is not a big issue as you like to play it out to be. But anyway, the horse gets gored, and the damage is done, and you get this whole point about the guy leaves his horse, and the guy's 200 pounds, the bull is 4,000. I'm pretty sure the bull's going to win the fight no matter what. He's going to injure the guy or kill him. And I'm pretty impressed the horse actually survived, and it kind of speaks for horses. They've been around for hundreds of thousands of years, and they're still kicking, so they're pretty tough, and this probably has happened in the wild before sometime. And I know it happens on ranches. I've seen it happen. I've seen cows, like the female counterparts of a bull, go after horses too, and it happens every day. Just part of the day, and this is just part of the game right here. And rodeo is just a sport like football where someone can get hurt, and then it takes him 25 seconds to get back over there, and that is kind of a long time for it. But there's 9 other people surrounding that horse, and you try to play off the rodeo people just abuse our animals and stuff, and you're way off on that. Rodeo people are very proud of the animals they have. The bull owners are very proud. The buck and horse owners are really proud of it, and it really hurts them to like have to lose an animal like this, and it probably hurt that guy to lose the horse. And then you sit there and talk about the rodeo clown throwing his hat at the horse, or supposedly beating the horse with his hat. Well, obviously, once again, you say you go to all these rodeos, but you don't pay attention. You just film it trying to get some, like, freaking ridiculous incident, and then try to play it out to be this huge thing that happens all the time. And if you look, I think he's trying to throw his hat at the bull to get the bull off the horse. And the horse spooks when he's throwing the hat and raises his head up into it. He's not trying to hit the horse, just so you know. But you play this out like it's happened at rodeos, and I've never seen this happen. I've seen more people get hurt with like branding cattle and stuff than I have at rodeos. Like actual horses getting hurt and stuff. But more brandings than I have like at rodeos. And then like the first time I can really remember was this year. I went to Cheyenne, and Strawberry Fudge got hurt. Strawberry Fudge is a bucking horse, and he broke his leg, and you have a video on here too about that, and you play it off like it's their fault because he was bucking. And I've had horses buck with me, and it happens. Horses buck if they don't like you, and we've had horses at my house that have broken legs and stuff, and it's just a fact of nature. The horses break legs sometimes, and they come back from it very well. The horses are very resilient animals. You gotta admire them for it. And that's my rant about that. But since I'm kind of angry about this, I went to research and I emailed you guys, and you won't respond to my email either. I don't know why, but I see it as very cowardly, and you won't face up the facts, and you won't give me legit replies. Like a lot of your comments on here are just against cowboys and stuff, and you need to just realize that this is not typical of it. But anyway, your website, I want to get your info from, has that you are against hunting, and for that I see a lot of problems also, because hunting helps keep populations of animals down, because otherwise they starve to death. I mean, you must be a sick freak if you frickin' like watching horses or watching deer and other stuff die from wasting disease and starvation. And hunting doesn't have to let that happen, because populations are reduced. And there's times where they get hurt and stuff, where people miss, and most of the time it's because they're jacking around. If you're actually going out to hunt, you kill the animal with one shot. And you may think that's inhumane to shoot an animal, but I think it's more inhumane to watch them sit there and starve to death or wander around in circles because they don't know what's going on because they have wasting disease. And that's just terrible. And you need, if you're going to talk about that, you need to bring up wasting disease. And also it helps some other animals, like pheasants. They're actually starting to make a comeback in my hometown, because the pheasants killed them off. The turkeys eat their eggs, and there's a few years when I was really young where there was no pheasants. You wouldn't even see them. Now they're starting to make a comeback. You start to see them along the roads again. So obviously thanks to efforts of hunters everywhere. And also, hunters are usually members of like the National Turkey Federation or Ducks Unlimited, so they usually support efforts to like help promote the health of the animals too. And then you guys talk about horse slaughter, and this one's a tough one for me, and I really can't justify it sometimes, but right now I kind of can. The horse market's terrible where I live, and that's because there's a lot of really crappy horses on the market, and the horse slaughter is closed. We have one in my hometown, and they closed, and that's just left a lot of horses going into the sales, and they're just terrible looking horses. It's ridiculous how bad they are. They're gaunt, it's all drawn up in the abdomen, and it's terrible. But the horse slaughters help that, and they feed the French and the Canadians, and so that's good for them, and it helps the horse market stay full of good horses and not crap. I've seen some people buy bad horses at horse sales because it was the right price. And also, putting a horse down is pretty expensive, and I don't know if you've ever like priced that to put a horse down, but first you have to pay for the vet to come out and do that, and then you have to pay for the shot, and then you have to pay for someone to pick it up, and it gets pretty expensive by the time you're done. And horses aren't cheap usually, and neither is their feed, so you need to buy another horse probably if you're putting one down. And slaughterers pay you pretty decent amount of money. And I know there's people that take advantage of that and buy horses cheap and then sell them to the slaughterers for profit, but it's the fact of the game. People abuse everything these days, like welfare, and at least he's trying to work and make money. He could do it in other ways, but it's too bad. And also, you talk about the whole how they kill them, and they use bolt guns, which I don't know if you're watching this, you probably know they shoot a bolt out through the head. And actually, if you do anything, the cattle market, cattle slaughterhouses do the same thing to them. And I noticed you don't have any videos about that, which I see as being kind of cowardly too, because it directly affects you. Because I have a feeling you're probably a meat carnivore like I am, and I enjoy my beef, and I'm not going to complain how it gets to my plate. And you complain about horse meat because you're not French or Canadian, and you're just a tree hugger. And then you also talk about bullfighting and pigeon shoots. And I actually have to agree with you there. Those are the intentional killing of animals for sport. And you may say hunting's a sport, but it's actually for food. I hunt for food, like Ted Nugent does, because Ted Nugent's the man. And you can sit there and complain about it, but those actually are the two things I will agree with you on. So, thank you for watching my video. Hopefully I've cleared up some points for you, Mr. Shark, because you need to get more informed. You need to actually read rodeo regulations and stuff, and kind of figure out why they're there, ask questions. Most of the rodeo people are pretty nice, but you kind of portray us as a bad people, and we're just fighting for our right. And you gotta realize that, because you're encroaching on our lifestyle. And it's the same as if I came after you saying, what? I'm trying to think. From Illinois. Well, you're probably saying that living in cities is bad for dogs. So you can't have a dog in the city. Or you can't have cats in the city. You can't have domesticated pets in the city because it's bad for their health. And I'm pretty sure you'd be pretty torqued off too if I put a video on here trying to do that. So hopefully I woke you guys up enough and realize that you guys need to start researching a little, and I'll talk to you later.